Hi again then guys, and welcome to, of course, another speed build, in particular for Horizon 4. Very popular car this time, but also kind of a controversial one sometimes as far as opinion goes. The Venom GT. In a similar way to some of the Koenigsegg's and a couple of the Bugattis, you can't necessarily make the power that much better than it was, if at all, but you can improve its launch, you can definitely improve its handling and its control, and that's the main purpose of this tune. Why then am I calling it a speed tune? Well, because it can do both. It's already quick, but you can make it even quicker, especially when it comes to acceleration. Now, the primary thing that you would need to do, I would say, if you are in particular a less experienced driver, is to convert it to all-wheel drive. Now, of course, pros don't necessarily like to do that. Some people just prefer rear-wheel drive anyway. That's fine. If you want to do that, then you can. But as far as this build goes, I have opted for that, because it just makes things so much easier, and in a game with so much off-roading, sometimes deliberate, sometimes incidental, you need all-wheel drive, basically. It just gives you so much of an advantage over rear-wheel drive, getting the power down on and off-road, so I just recommend it. Now, this tune is for 998. I believe I've uploaded two versions, if I recall correctly, to my storefront, an S2 and an X version. If I haven't, then I'll check that and upload an X version as well. But you can, as always, use the keywords down below, or my gamer tag to find them. Now, as far as the tuning itself, you can't upgrade the power, so just do everything else. Drop the weight, brakes, suspension, transmission, tyres, all that kind of good stuff. Now, as you can see from the benchmark, 1.4 to 60, way quicker than stock. 3 seconds to 100, 270 flat out, so technically about the same or close enough to stock, but that's always the case. You can never really improve the top speed of the Venom all that much. But at the same time, given that ironically now it's actually less powerful than a lot of the other cars in the game, which is a strange thing to think about, but of course it's not necessarily going to be a 280, 290 mile per hour car because it doesn't have 1500 horsepower to work with. So as far as the gearbox, as you've probably already copied out anyway, we've got a final drive of 2.5, then individual gears of 2.9, 2, 1.5, 1.18, 0.96 and 0.78. Then as far as the alignment, I'd recommend neutral camber and neutral toe. I've opted for the highest caster angle on 7. You could take that down in the centre to 4 and see if you prefer that, or of course lower if you wanted to. But I personally like the handling on this one. It's stiffened up, it doesn't wheel spin or tail flick all over the place like it did before, fishtail. As far as anti-roll, they are locked on this one. I believe, if I recall correctly, that's one of the things that I didn't fit for it to be in S2. But of course, if you just want to do everything and put it up into Group X, then you can do that as well. As far as springs, I've got those on 63, 96 and the lowest ride height. Dampers on 8, 12, 4 and 5. Aero doesn't apply. As you could see just now, I have left the wing up. You can put the wing down, of course, from the tuning menu or from the upgrade menu, or you could put the racing wing on. As you know, I would not recommend that. You just don't need it. So the handling is already good enough, trust me. And as far as the diff, I've gone for 100%, as we often will, for acceleration, 0 for decel, and I would definitely recommend 75%. That really is the sweet spot for this car. It gives you great launch, but also doesn't make it heavy at high speeds. So it's still really, really competitive. And if you haven't tried this tune before, I think you're going to like it. If you are a Venom fan and you want to use it more often, this tune will allow you to do that. It's extremely competitive and extremely quick, but of course, you want to see how quick it can go. So overall, as you can see from the gameplay here, it's still every bit as quick as it was. In fact, you can go a little bit beyond the benchmark, up around 271, potentially 272 if there's not the traffic around as much, but the biggest improvement is, of course, the handling. Plus, it's now so much better off the line that it kind of seems slow because there's no wheel spin. But it's because there's so much more grip. The racing tyres and all-wheel drive mean you can just put the torque and power down in low-speed corners and off the line far more efficiently, and it allows it to be not just one of the quickest in a straight line, but to have really competitive handling as well. So if you are a Venom fan, definitely check out this tune, either do it yourself or get it from my storefront, and of course click here on screen to see all of my other tunes for Horizon 4 as well. But for now, as always, thanks for watching.